Good morning, everyone. So I thought I would take a moment to, and I had to redo this video because the first time I did this, I screwed it all up. Anyways, I wanted to thank each and every one of you who liked and commented, best wishes, prayers, and so on and so forth for my one comment I made on Facebook about being closed in our updated schedule because I probably had colon cancer at that time. And the reason why I bring that up is when the doctor's office called, they said before I even saw the doctor, I had unusual indicators and abnormal markers, being that I worked in the medical field for almost 15 years, mostly in the medical billing side, but I did do medical assistant on occasion for doctors. Those were usually code words that we found cancer. Especially when it came to colonoscopies or if you're doing ovarian cancers and so on and so forth. And the funny thing is, they wanted to do an MRI right away before I saw the doctor to get my results, which was, like I said, so for about a week, I am absolutely petrified. I'm almost sure I've got cancer at that point because of the way the medical assistant had communicated it to me over the phone. If you've been following my post, you know that I had to pull my own pathological lab results simply because the doctor, when I went to go get my results, didn't answer any of my questions. Did I have cancer? Did I not? And so on and so forth. It was funny, come back and see me in we'll repeat the procedure again in 5 years, but I want to see you in 3 months. That, again, inconsistency, contradictions, and so on and so forth. So I went and pulled my pathological lab results directly from the lab at Firelands, and I don't have cancer. So why he wants to see me in 3 months, why they wanted to do an MRI right away, why were the terms unusual markers and abnormal results used when communicating with me? Yeah, that just scared the bejesus out of me. And when I posted that, the post that I had put up there and shared across all the communities was really to inform clients and potential clients, this is what our schedule is. Nothing is more infuriating than driving from Norwalk or Port Clinton or Gibsonburg to drop off your computer for a repair or a service and the store is closed. That's why if you ever call the phone number, it says please schedule an appointment. If you're here and the light's on, come in. But we do ask that you schedule appointments whenever possible, because during the day, or during the morning I should say, I'm the only one here. So if I have to leave out for an emergency service call or even a scheduled service call, I've got to close the store. So that was the true intent of my message. It wasn't to relay that I might have cancer and what was going on. It was to relay that we were going to be closed, and this is the reason why. I just wanted to be aware that it was personal, not professional. And so I put it out there that, every indication up to the point of getting my results indicated that I had colon cancer. So let me pull these images for you because I want you to see this. 10,500 people saw the post across 8 groups, my personal page, and of course the Computer Garage Facebook page. 10,000 people with 1,000 engagements, and there's always one. I think I've talked about that in another post. There's always one that hides the post, and that's okay. And I think the haha it was meant to click the other thing, and the haha got clicked accidentally. But yeah, 10,000 people seen it, 1,000 engagements. The vast majority of it was prayers, keeping you in our thoughts, and so on and so forth. I appreciate the sentiment. I do. I'm not a believer, but if you are, by all means, praise who that you praise. But the thoughts and sentiments were welcomed. As we now know, as I've posted out earlier I think it was on Friday, I posted out after pulling my own results. I don't have colon cancer. It came back benign. Why the doctor couldn't tell me this, I don't know. And then why he wants to see me in 3 months, I don't know. And why there was such an urgent need for an MRI to be done, I don't know. Now, the thing is Cleveland Clinic had scheduled an MRI of my abdominals because I still have this tumor. So I'm not quite out of the woods yet. I looked at the report for the ultrasound that it was done when I was at Firelands. And of course, I've seen my images. So my tumor that was at one time this big, 7 years ago when I had surgery, and I don't know why the surgeon didn't take it out, but he did do a biopsy of it, and it was benign. My tumor now in my gut is this big, or as Dr. Trunzel over in Cleveland Clinic says, it's the size of a navel orange. Reading my reports, apparently this, when it was that small, was above my bladder. Now with it being this big, it's pushing up against my bladder. Well, that explains why I got to get up in the middle of the night 4 times to use the bathroom. So, I mean, here I thought it was just old age. So yeah, this is now this big, and it's pushing on the back side of my bladder and kind of starting to overlap my bladder. And so there was mention of that. There was also mention of a small little nodule on my prostate gland. I've already had that. I had that looked at a couple years back. It was fine. And my PSA blood work is coming back fine, so I'm not really concerned there. However, if I do go into surgery to have this removed, or at least biopsied, while you're in there, hey, poke the beast. Again, I tell my doctors this every time. If you're going to go in there, do it all. Don't just screw around. So I was supposed to go in Monday at Medina Hospital for an MRI of my abdominals. That got canceled. It'll be rescheduled because someone failed to file the pre-authorization. Yeah, it was kind of weird. Cleveland Clinic called me up, the financial department, and said that my approval for the MRI was declined. Okay. Of course, back in my day when I did medical billing, it was our responsibility as billers to find out why it was declined, file the appeal, get it taken care of. Now they push this off onto the patient. I don't understand why. Why is that the case? This is your job. If a bill was declined, file an appeal with the insurance company, attach all the paperwork, why it was medically necessary, and so on and so forth, get the insurance company to pay that bill, especially if they've already pre-approved it. So I ended up calling the insurance company. I said, hey, Cleveland Clinic says they had to cancel my MRI. It was scheduled for Monday because the pre-approval wasn't approved, and my insurance company goes, what pre-approval? I go, what do you mean, what pre-approval? She goes, we don't have one. She goes, so have them file one. If it's urgent, needs to be done right away, fax it, mark it urgent, and we'll get it to medical review as fast as possible. I'm sitting here going, Cleveland Clinic said they sent you one. You say you don't have it. Again, years of being in the medical billing profession, things get lost in the ether. I understand that. So, so that happens. So I contacted the doctor's office again and said, hey, how about someone file that report or pre-authorization so we can get this scheduled? Because if this is going to be one of those things that they decide to take this tumor out, again, this big, excuse me, it's going to be complex. And Cleveland Clinic will do it, and it's not going to be a simple surgery because once they get that big, they have multiple attachments, and the fact that it's touching my bladder makes it even more complex. So I'm not out of the woods yet. Don't have colon cancer. That's a good thing. But I do have this tumor that needs to be taken care of. And like I said, while you're in there, fix my hernia. not worried so much about my hiatal hernia. It has never bothered me. I didn't even know I had one until I had an upper GI done here when I was at Firelands. Didn't even know I had a hiatal hernia. If you're not familiar with a hiatal hernia, that is where the opening on your diaphragm is a little bit bigger than what it's supposed to be, and parts of your stomach start sliding up through your diaphragm. Sorry. It's never bothered me. It's never given me acid reflux. I don't have any ulcers from acid going up into my esophagus, so it's never been an issue. But if you're going to go in, I do have a abdominal hernia from my previous surgery where the incision, and we wouldn't know this for years later, where my muscle walls did not suture together, or they were sutured together, but then I remember they had to open me up and stick their hands in my guts every day for a week. When they closed me back up, they didn't do it in the normal fashion, and I say that because that's the second time I've had that done. When I had my first appendix, or when I had my first surgery, which was my appendix that was ruptured, they didn't suture me up right away. In that particular case, they cleaned me up, took out all my guts. That would be Dr. Ross Irons, for those who remember. He made the comment about he took out all my guts, bottle brushed them, put them back in place, rearranged my guts the way they were supposed to be, and then he packed, and of course put the poison tube, if you know what a poison tube is, near where my appendix was, and he packed my stomach. And about every couple of days they would come out and take out the old packing and put the new one in until all the drainage was gone, and then they went in and pulled the sutures to seal me up. So yeah, I've got this nice big scar where my appendix was. Because the sad thing is after I was discharged from the hospital, went home. I think I was off of school because I was 13 for a couple of weeks. Yeah, I was all sealed up. I think I went back to Dr. Irons for a follow-up. A couple of weeks later, I think he said everything looked good, and he cut and removed the stitches that were on the skin. And a couple of days later, it started ripping back open. I didn't bleed, but the skin broke open, and I went back to him, and he said, "That's fine. We'll give you an abdominal binder or hernia belt, for those who know what those are. Just keep a gauze over it, and it'll seal up or close up on its own." And sure enough, it did. But yeah, back to this Cleveland Clinic. If you're going to go in and take out a tumor, while you're in there, I've got some things that you need to fix. So, but yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for all of you who, did the prayers, best wishes, good luck, and so on and so forth. Much appreciated. Was not expecting that response. Really wasn't expecting it. Like I said, usually I put out a comment or whatever through the Computer Garage website, and I usually get about 100 or so views and maybe 30 or so likes, reactions, and some comments, but was not expecting that. Thank you all. Like I said, I'm not a believer, but if you are, please keep believing, because it's who you are. So, but yeah, next up is get the MRI done so Cleveland Clinic can figure out what they're doing, and going from there. Usual timeline, I don't know. I want to, if I do have to have surgery, and it's going to be a big one, if I do have to have one, I think I will do my best to time it in the same way I did the previous surgery, shoot for as close to Labor Day as weekend as I can, because usually that time of the year we are, I don't want to say dead, but that is our slowest point, because everyone is out buying new computers for school and stuff like that. So usually we don't have a whole lot of business at that time, which really sucks because it hurts. So yeah, we'll keep you posted on how things are going. Watch the Facebook page. Major things that come up I need to discuss, I'll do it on a video. Regardless, if I am here or in the hospital, as I've mentioned in post, I have no intentions of dying. I will do phone calls and remotes from my hospital bed. I did it before. I'll do it again. And yes, it ticks off the doctors, but it is what it is. So, I might not physically be able to come to you, but I can look at your computer remotely if we have the appropriate tools in place. So, in the meantime, though, if you are in this service area here, this is pretty much everywhere we cover. That's 5 counties. If you work or live there and you need us to look at your computers, give us a call. There's the phone number. Schedule a time to either come to us or we can come to you, and we can take a look at it and see if we can figure out what your computer problem is and get it taken care of. Again, reminder, usually call before you come over, because if it's in the mornings and I've got emergency service calls, I've closed the shop, nothing is more infuriating than driving all the way from, wherever, and we're closed. So always call before you come over, just to make sure. Save the gas. If you live in Norwalk, Sandusky, we do have drop boxes. Those are not going anywhere anytime soon. That project is expected to last until around about February, and then we'll make a judgment call if we're going to pull those boxes or not. They've been there for a couple of months now, and to the best of my knowledge, no one has utilized it, even though I've promoted it and tried to get people to use it. No one has used them, so it is what it is. Might not be a service that's available, or we might have to rethink the whole process. So we'll see. So anyways, Facebook, you can always find us there. There's us on MeWe if you want one of those social media sites that has no censorship. Like and share the video, please, so people are aware of it. Subscribe it, so when I post up new videos, you get an alert at least on your YouTube and maybe in your email, and possibly on your phone. This way you're aware of when a new video drops out, which is usually every Tuesday around about 7 o'clock, but sometimes I pop some other ones out throughout the week. So there's our website. Nothing big or fancy, just basic information. So I do most of our stuff through Facebook and MeWe, because that's what people use around here. So anyways, you guys have a great day. I will talk to you later. And again, thank you for all the prayers, best wishes, and so on and so forth. It meant a lot. I don't believe, but thank you. I do mean that. So you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you later.